Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused. How are you doing? This is Simon here. And as usual, we're here to chat all things social media, video, but also chat to a guest today who we'll be introducing very soon. Basically, if you're brand new to these lives or this podcast, if you're listening to it this evening, this is basically your chance to ask questions about social media, about video, but also for us to talk to other experts in different fields and also find out how social media has affected them and how it's helped their business, their brand, that kind of stuff. But also just to try and get you on that content creation journey, help you understand how easy it is to start making content, how easy it is to start doing stuff. For those of you who don't know who the hell I am, maybe you're brand new to these streams, I'm Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios. And we're an award-winning visual marketing agency. We help brands and businesses create content that helps them stand out on social media. But a few years ago, it became very obvious to me that not every brand, not every business necessarily had endless budgets to create marketing content. But as we all know, social media is all about consistency. It's all about having that value going out on a regular basis. So how could I help those people? I came up with a process. It was kind of bastardizing other things people had talked about, my own keynote speeches that I'd done over the years, and called it How to 9 Times Your Social Media. I turned it into a book. It went to #1. You can still download it, whatever. It's all there in the section below. But the whole point is to try and get you into creating content for free. So it doesn't cost you anything to create stuff, to start getting your brand out there and talking to people and getting people talking about you as well. And one of the best examples I've come across this, and a guy who keeps putting his content out on a regular basis, he puts out his podcast, the Positivity podcast, on a regular basis, is Adam Parr. So Adam, we're going to welcome you to the show this morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I'm very good, thank you. Very good. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. So you're based down in Cornwall. How has the lockdown been for your good self?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I'm originally from Nottingham, so I'm used to like city life. So yeah, down here it was very, very quiet. So what I kind of fell into was podcasting. Kind of what we're doing now, and I just kind of hammed on that and focused on that over the lockdown period. Kind of been doing it ever since, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, how's the podcast been going? I mean, I've seen your content obviously popping up all the time. I've been on the podcast myself. How was it? How you felt? Because I think we were just chatting a minute ago, and you were saying you've done 70 episodes, which is some going. Yeah,
I did around 70 episodes during lockdown over like was it 4 or 5 month period. Just being consistent with it. I kept on doing it, and I think I'm close to like 150 now. But during lockdown, I was doing like 3 to 4 a day sometimes. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, I am doing them consistently now, but no, I'm not doing 4 a day. I'm usually doing a couple a day. But it's something I love doing, and I love connecting with people.
And so, obviously, going back to that connection side of things, what we haven't said yet is that actually you're a certified life coach. And so how did that fall into place for you? How did you suddenly decide that was kind of the direction you wanted to go with what you do, and then kind of tie that back into the podcast?
Yeah, of course. I never really kind of knew what I wanted to do, really. I kind of fell into different jobs, tried different career routes. To cut a long story short, I was going to join the military. So I did look at life courses. I was in pre-selection. So I spent a lot of time, focused on that. And then I got to a point, I was like, that's not for me. Try the next thing. Cut a long story short, tried all these different jobs out, hospitality, retail, different education routes. And then I saw a course in life coaching. And I thought, that's more me. Especially, I don't know if I mentioned, but in the past, I had PTSD following an accident where I fell through a roof.
Okay.
So that kind of, going through all of that opened up my kind of realm into like mental health. And then when I came through that, I was like, I want to give something back and help other people. So that's kind of like, what I was drawn to in that course.
Okay, and so when that horrific thing happened, were you given life coaches to work with, and that's why you felt that was probably the right place for you?
I mean, I was 13 at the time. I'm 26 now. When it happened, luckily enough, my mum's doing her like hypnotherapy training because she's qualified in that. So she kind of helped me in that side of things, and I didn't really know what life coaches were at that stage. and then obviously, I had therapy and things like that. But it was only kind of like in the recent years I kind of discovered, life coaching.
Mm-hmm. So for those who are watching right now, what does a life coach do?
Yeah, to put it into words, life coaches, motivate and coach and guide people to, achieve their goals. And life coaching, people think life coaching is like therapy and counseling. It's not necessarily counseling. It's more like, where is that person right now? Where do they want to get to? And it's providing a space for that person to get to meet their goals, really. It might touch base on the past, but therapy and counseling focuses on the past, whereas it's more more solution focused, really.
Yeah, and so I'm guessing it's not something that's just purely business based either, is it? I guess it's everything. I mean, as an ex-athlete myself, I used to have coaches who you wouldn't necessarily call them life coaches, but there were coaches who would help me with that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's many different avenues. There's like a big kind of like pillar / tree of different avenues of coaching. There's there's business coaching, personal coaching, nutrition coaching, relationship coaching. So there's many different elements, and what most coaches do, they kind of find a niche within that, really.
I was just going to say, so what would you say your niche is on that?
Yeah, I would say I'm quite solution focused. So kind of like like mindset coaching, I'd say. I'm still kind of learning as I go along, really, but I think that's kind of something that I relate to.
And I think that's probably what a lot of people would say. And the best thing is, because obviously you're quite a young guy, is a lot of people go, well, what life have you had to kind of teach me anything? But you've got that backstory of, look, this is why I do what I do, so that people will kind of emotionally connect with you in that way. And speaking about that and about emotionally connecting with people, how do you use social media? Do you use it just for the podcast, or do you use it to try and connect with people in that aspect and tell your story and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I predominantly I've been learning a lot about social media recently, and how to use it, because it's kind of a tool, really, and it takes a lot of time as well. I've been using it for kind of everything, really. I did create separate accounts for my personal one, but someone said to me, kind of keep it under the same kind of umbrella. It's whatever works, but I kind of put my podcast content on there, and I'll do videos and kind of blogs, kind of talking about advice and kind of giving my kind of thought on things.
Do you do a lot of repurposing them? Because obviously you've got such a bank of content when it comes to the podcast. Do you repurpose any of it and turn it into short form content, or just like take the transcript off and use that as a blog and so on and so forth?
Yes, there's something I'm definitely playing around with. I put, because I use it on my phone, like my car, like now in my room. I've got an old Mac, so it's not too powerful. But at the minute, I'm literally I upload the full podcast audio to the platforms. I put the full video to YouTube, and then I put like a 6-minute or 8-minute clip from the episode on Instagram. And once I'm up to date uploading my content, I will go through it and, like you said, take probably snippets from it and upload that.
Cool, excellent. So going on to the podcast then, what's the, obviously positivity is a play on the word positivity, which is great. Your surname just plays right into that, and so it's obviously meant to be. What would you say the podcast is about the most?
What's the podcast? That's a good question. I would say connecting with people from all different walks of life and providing value to the audience through listening to people, hearing people's stories, and talking about certain topics that probably people don't necessarily talk about in general life in conversations, if that makes sense. So motivation, mental health, personal development, that kind of thing. So I think it kind of, there's almost like a connection with it. And I think I've had people on who then connected with people that I know. So there's quite a magic to podcasting, but I think it connects people to people's stories, and hopefully provides value.
And what is it about podcasting that kind of draws you? Is it that potential of talking to new people effectively?
I genuinely I talked to my mum about this the other day, because she was saying, like, you've always had that kind of interest in people, even as a kid, and I genuinely have an interest, in connecting with other people, hearing their stories, and because I think everyone's kind of got their own story to share, and I think we're all very interesting, and we can provide a lot to people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, it's the tagline of my business, but yeah, every business or everybody has a story, and it's just kind of getting that story across to people and helping them understand why you do what you do, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and I think like it's so important because you can connect with somebody, and when you connect with people, they can kind of change your perspective sometimes, just through having a conversation with them, because you look at the way that they think, some of the things that they've been through, and it makes you start to think about, what you're doing or the things that you've been through.
Yeah. Yeah. So going back through your podcast, you've done a lot in the back of your mind and all that kind of stuff. I mean, is there like a couple of podcasts that you've done in the past that kind of have stood out that have changed your perception on certain things?
Yeah, massively. Gosh, I'm trying to think.
Difficult question, I know.
No, it's a good question. I connected with a guy, Paul Rogers. I don't know if you're acquainted with him. He's on LinkedIn. He's a really nice guy, and he got hit by a train. Him and his family were in a car, and they got hit by a train. He was on life support. He was in a coma. His wife came out. He came out. He came around. He's okay now. He's all right. He's doing coaching and all this. That was one example.
Wow, what a story!
Yeah, that's one. And then Rob Kelly, Dr. Rob Kelly. He's quite famous. He was a recovered alcoholic. He tried committing suicide. He was homeless. He turned his life around, and he now runs a recovery group, Dr. Rob Kelly recovery group, helping people who recovering addicts.
Yeah, wow.
So it quite deep. I mean, quite deep, but
yeah. No, but that's exactly what the podcast is all about for you as well. And I mean, it doesn't necessarily just have to be like this where we're finding out about you and what it is that you do.
Yeah.
It can be that deeper element. I mean, when we spoke, we obviously spoke about my dad dying and all that kind of stuff, and how that led to where I am now and that kind of stuff. So it doesn't always have to. Life isn't always sunshine and roses, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah. I think that's it. I mean, I really enjoyed like our podcast as well, and I think like it really flowed really well. That's kind of like natural flow when we do engage and talk, and I think like sometimes sounds I'm trying to put into words. Like when you go through certain things in life, even if they're really bad or make you uncomfortable, sometimes that's how you can kind of grow in some way through that.
No, completely. I mean, my dad passing helped me realize what I wanted my legacy to be. Me failing in my athletics due to injury helped me realize where I wanted to go next. So everything, it's a cheesy old line, but everything happens for a reason, I guess, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. There's a quote which is so we all make choices, but our choices make us, or something like that.
That's a nice, good quote.
That was off a video game called BioShock, actually.
And
it always and it was always kind of stuck with me. But it's crazy how life can pan out, and one day something can happen, and you can just change from that day onwards. And like I said, I think everything happens for a reason, and the people that you meet for a reason. And I think if I hadn't had that PTSD and had that accident where I fell through the skylight, I probably wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So I think in some strange way, the universe kind of works in our favor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So not stepping away from what it is that you do, but stepping away ever so slightly. What does the future have? First of all, let's go with the podcast. What does the future have in store for the podcast?
Yeah. No, I've been thinking about recently looking at streaming, getting into, things similar to this, what you're doing. Trying to get my head around it. How to do.
We can have a word afterwards. It's easier than it looks, trust me.
Yeah. So looking into streaming rather than just kind of doing it and uploading it. And, one day I'd, like to have my own studio. I think we all kind of dream of that.
Yeah.
And just trying to push it, as far as I can, really. And see where that goes.
Mm-hmm. And so, with yourself, with the life coaching, what kind of aspirations do you have with that? Do you want to work with young people? Do you want to work with businesses? What would you like to see happening on that side of things for you?
Yeah, I think with my coaching, it's quite early days. With I qualified like last year, but I would like to work for myself. Keep on trying to build my own kind of base of clients,
Yeah.
and then but client wise, I'm happy to work with anybody, that it has that I can relate to. If I can help them in their experiences, then I'm happy to work with anybody. I'm kind of been focused a lot on like younger people, especially teenagers, things like that. And I would like to get into kind of the corporate side in the future, but I'm just happy just to go with the process. I think that's something I've learned a lot recently.
Yeah, and just happy to help, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not if people, I'm happy to do it for free. If I'm happy to be what's the word?
Sounding board?
Yeah. I'm happy for that. It's fine.
Cool, excellent. And so we're going to put all your links and everything down below when in a moment. Anyway, when this broadcast is finished, I'll put everything down below. But where's the one place that you want people to come and watch or listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
Where's the one place people can find you?
People can find me on Instagram at Parrsitivity, PARRSITIVITY 94. Parrsitivity 94. I'm on YouTube now as well. The Parrsitivity podcast. Twitter, Adam Parr, capital L. And I'm on Spotify in kind of all of the platforms, really.
Brilliant, excellent. Well, Adam, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you, of course.
No, you too.
And I really enjoyed our podcast, and I've enjoyed having you on and chatting about and just letting people get a little bit more of an idea about what life coaching might bring to them and for their business, for their brand, just generally how social media has helped you, that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
And good luck with everything. And like I say, everything that you need to go and find Adam will be in the section below. Thank you so much. Take it easy.
No, you're welcome. I'm happy to be here, and it's been great talking to you.
Brill. Stay safe. So there you go. That was Adam. Thank you very much to Adam for joining us. If you are brand new to this content, make sure you hit subscribe on whatever platform you're watching on: Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, the podcast. Oh, there's so many of them. Anyway, you can find me on all those different platforms, and we go live, obviously, on a don't know what time because it's Daddy Daycare Day. So it depends on what nap time is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like I say, please do stay safe. It's really weird times at the moment, I know. And maybe on Friday we'll chat about whether Christmas is going to happen. Anyway, I'll see you then. Have a good one. Take care.